month 12 in the calendar of the Eternal, month 3, day 26 of 2022. Meanwhile, I was meditating before the Lord in prayer and supplication, asking the Lord to let me understand some things that He had said to me this past week, and not understanding many things. I went before the Lord, asking for His wisdom. In response, I have received word from the Eternal to share with the Lord's flock in this hour concerning the insidious. He let me know that it is war of self-glorifying. They fight to prove their point and blame the other for not understanding. The perspicacious Pharisee and legalist, with his supposed cunning and believing to know how to solve his own problems with his own strength, further entangles his existence and the existence of those around him. Beloved brothers, we all can be or have been at some point insidious and perspicacious legalist Pharisees. For far from God, giving way to our own wisdom, believing to solve our own way, we entangle our paths more and more. The insidious and the perspicacious legalist Pharisee speak different languages, for each of them strives to have the reason, not as it is in God, but in his own criteria. The Holy Spirit searches the depths of God so that He may search us and let us see what is hidden in the depths of our being, which is the dross so stuck in our deceitful heart that if it continued there, it would be our fatal perdition. That is why Paul exclaimed, "Wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death?" The insidious and perspicacious legalist Pharisee fails to see his true condition unless God shows it to him. The perspicacious one gives expecting to receive, and if he does not receive, his anger is such that it leads him to complicate his own existence, thus creating failure all around him. Example of this, he marries someone who he knows will make a good business out of such a marriage. The convenience of the same is frightening, and his coldness of legalism, Pharisaic, only seeks his own welfare openly. The insidious and the perspicacious legalist Pharisee can never be together in harmony unless they submit to God without reservation. The insidious one becomes engrossed in believing that things are as he thinks they are, and at the end of the day realizes that it was not as he thought. Example of this, choosing a bad partner even though he was warned, but he did not listen and it went badly. I was let to know that foolishness is being insidious and rebelliousness is being perspicacious, legalist Pharisee. When we live in integrity and abide by God's operations with integrity, foolishness and rebellion have no place in our being, and integrity keeps us from falling into sin. Integrity in God to do His will, even if we do not know how, or even if the heavens fall, is the antidote for our sinful sickness. This dethrones the enemy from our lives and enthrones the beloved of the beloved in our lives. Thus we will exclaim, "No longer do I live, but Christ lives in me. Now I no longer live in the flesh, but I live by faith in the Son of God." And I will be able to exclaim, "Here comes the prince of this world, and he has nothing in me. The insidious one seeks his own underhandedly, and even many times without realizing it. The same is impulsive, but the perspicacious legalist Pharisee creates his world in his head and at all costs wants to bring it into his own and others' reality. For the insidious, the Eternal gave me this quote that I want to share with you. Proverbs chapter 15. Let us attend to this with close attention so that we may be freed from these underhanded evils that are woven into the nature of fleshly sin of which we are all as yet sick. The perspicacious legalist Pharisee or legalist Pharisee may rejoice to be quick of understanding, but this quality attached to it of Pharisaism and of legalism are a deadly snare to him who bears it and to those close to him. For this situation, I was referred to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 19. The perspicacious without God is vain, and to him who bears it is to him his own destruction, and even to the one who follows him. I was given these other quotes: Psalms chapter 14, verse 2, Psalms chapter 111, verse 10, and Ephesians chapter 5, verse 17. The perspicacious legalist Pharisee lacks seeing by faith and walks more by sight. And I was given these two quotes: Psalms chapter 36, verse 1 to 3, and Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16. I leave this with you, beloved brothers, and with myself, so that we may continue to learn in the deep truth of the word of the Eternal, and that we may be able to completely be sincere before the Lord. The eternal Passover is approaching, and the Eternal has called our attention to this so that we can understand how dangerous sin is in our lives, how sneaky it is, and how it is woven into our soul. And we must be freed from this. His mercy, His love for us, His loyalty in seeking our salvation leads Him to be sincere with us and let us see our real condition. May God grant that each one of us may be freed from such evils and from many others which the Lord, little by little, will let us see in the life of each one of us, so that we may continue to grow in His image, in His likeness, so that very soon we will be able to give the stature that only in Him we can give. And those, beloved brothers, be ready to receive His seal, the Holy Spirit, in the life of each one of us, so that we may proclaim to this world His truth, His justice, and His love without mix, and so that many may be enlightened by this message, and then we may go home. God grant, it is my prayer and supplication at this hour, that we may all go in humiliation and supplication before the Lord. May we ask for forgiveness from our hearts to the Eternal, and may we thank Him for letting us see our condition as He really sees it, so that we may be cleansed in Him. If we go to Him in humiliation and supplication, that it may be so. It is my plea and prayer that this will be a reality in the life of each one of us. May the Lord bless us.